This is St. Martin's Cathedral, and I can't speak as loud since I have a very loud voice anyway because it echoes. So St. Martin's Cathedral, as you notice, is a light-flooded church, right? It's very light, very much light, and it's a so-called hall church. Hall church, that means the side aisles, you see, are just as high as the middle one, right? That's what you call a hall church, because usually you have a lower side aisle and a higher, that the energy is carrying. It was much easier to do than building something like that. And the one who built it, his name was Hans von Burghausen. And this Hans von Burghausen was a fantastic builder. He built all kinds of churches. Going up to Austria, Salzburg, he lived here in Landshut. He built about 6-7 churches in his lifetime. He couldn't finish this one because he planned it. They built 115 years on this church, and no one in those times could live 115 years. So his nephews continued and finished it. I'll give you a few measurements in meters. She's 92 meters long and 28 meters in width, and also 28 meters high. So we've got the same height and length. That's part of hall church also, right? The same measurements. Even so that it doesn't look it. When you come inside, it lifts you up, actually. You know, this Gothic way of feeling, the philosophy, let me grow up into your heaven, God. Don't let me live down here. Let me get up to you. That was the philosophy of Gothic. In those times, people didn't have a very enjoyable life. Different in Baroque and Rococo. The philosophy of churches have heaven on earth, right? You can live in paradise, in church, on earth also. That's why there's plenty decoration and whatever. This is very plain, very simple, because the philosophy of church was, or religion was, it doesn't matter how long you live there. No way. You concentrate on what's next, what's coming up. Right? So these slender pillars really carry the roof. And this roof is very heavy. You can imagine a few thousand tons it weighs. And this is an architectural, architectural master way to do something like that. Because it is only rather big stuff, right? And you've got no, what can you say? I can't think of the English word of it now. I can't even think of the German word of it now.
The German word.
Gosh, Marty. Usually you have in churches those that like that goats. I can't think of it. It will come later on. Okay, I'll tell you later. You see these little stones? They're called Bogenschlusssteine. There's actually no translation for it. And you see this coat of arms in there, going into heaven, right? That's what it wants to say. Because in olden times, that was painted like you see in a choir arch there, right? Mm-hmm. Going into heaven. Because this church was financed by the people living in the city, not the noble people. The regular people had lots of money. The church was built in those times, end of 13th century, 1300, right? And there was time of sale of solution, right? You were convinced that if you give money, you will end up in heaven, right? So, and if you gave enough money, then you could put your little coat of armor of the family into there, right? And everybody, and it gives a feeling of, I'm going up to you now, God, I'm coming. And yet all the people sitting in the benches, all the rest, they say, he gave something too, okay? And it had to be seen. And you see it in the front, it goes into heaven. They want to reach heaven. You see in the choir arch this beautiful crucifix. It was the largest crucifix ever built. That came in 1495, 20 years after that the wedding was. That was 1475. And they had a destroying plague here. You know what plague is? pest plague. And I had from 9,000 people, about 7,500 people had died. And it was a noble family. They made a promise God. If our family overlives this plague, then we donate their largest crucifix ever seen. And that's why we do have him here. And like I mentioned, we've got 28 meters in heights, but he's already 8.5 meters. That crucifix, 8.5 meters. It doesn't notice when you see him from far away because it's 8.5 meters. And the body is 5.5 meters, made out of a tree trunk, carved out of a tree trunk. We can't see the altar now because we do, we have the time where we cover up, so I can't. It's a fantastic altar, actually. It's a chokestone, very Gothic chokestone altar with little figures in there carved in. Very fantastic. I'll show you windows. Okay.